Hey, what's up, guys? It's Giltspire here, and welcome back to Champions of the Fog. Today we are here for round number 8. How did we get here versus Cookies? And today I am joined by me, myself, and I. Today I'm doing some solo casting for this round. All the guys will enjoy my idle chatter as we have Cookies getting ready to kill on the Dead Dog Saloon. I myself quite excited to see this. Sabletex has been helping get How Do We Get Here a little bit more comp ready. I have not been able to see the fruits of that labor myself, so I am quite excited to see what they end up doing. Let's see what their survivors look like, what their killers look like. Should be like a whole lot of fun. But that being said, how's everyone doing today? Hopefully all are doing well. I know I am. Hopefully you guys are excited for today's match. Hopefully you guys are excited for the possibility of a PTB being announced in like less than 2 weeks. Overall, a lot of cool stuff going on, to say the least. But we are about to get this round going. I do believe just need one more build from How Do We Get Here. All right. And last one should be coming in here just in a moment as we have Omegalol about to join. I do appreciate the offer. Maybe next time, my friend. Maybe next time. Personally, I don't mind solo casting all too much. Is the life of a Dead by Daylight content creator, especially me, where I pretty much do not shut up. Jazzy doesn't win, shake my head. I mean, hey, you never know. These survivors might give Jazzy a run for their money, especially if Cookies does underestimate How Do We Get Here. Which I think How Do We Get Here is definitely the underdog in the majority of their matches, but especially so now with Cookies being, I do believe, undefeated. Let me take a look real quick. If we do take a look at that, they are currently 6-0 versus How Do We Get Here's 0-6. So they are by far the underdogs in this situation, to say the least. We also take a look real quick at what killers Cookies can and cannot use. At this moment in time, Cookies has available to them everyone but Wraith and Twins, which works out for Twins, as Twins is currently banned due to some bugs with the Victor. So we'll have to wait and see what they bring to the table. Against How to Get Here, I do imagine we'll probably see anywhere between B and A tier killers. I would be surprised to see from Cookies some S tier, not to cut, you know, How to Get Here short, but based on previous performance, I imagine a lot of teams are not going to be bringing out their S tiers right away, unless they have to. Geeky did spin a nurse, so there is that possibility, no doubt, no doubt. But what are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking as far as the killer is concerned? What are your best bets? I'm personally thinking, let's see, Dead Dog Saloon, very small, killer-sided map. I mean, Bubba would make a lot of sense to me. Otherwise, you know, like I said, I don't foresee them bringing a nurse, bringing a blight, bringing a spirit. So probably like a Bubba or someone that's going to be able to apply pressure very quickly and in rapid succession would be my main thought there. But we are still waiting on the last build from How Do We Get Here. And let them know that we do need that as soon as possible to get things going. But I am curious. I'm curious to see what Jazzy does bring. As outside of conversation of the game, I do want to get your thoughts, chat, on what we are thinking for new perk coming to Dead by Daylight, new killer powers coming to Dead by Daylight, as we are thinking of a new killer and survivor will be coming to the table on November 30th. But it looks like we got our builds all set and ready to go. I'll let them know that they are good to go. And let's get trial number 1 on its way. You're saying Jazzy as Blight? I mean, if I see Jazzy as Blight, I'd be pretty surprised. Like we said earlier, you know, not to not give credit to How We Get Here and how far they've grown, but realistically speaking, I don't know about bringing out a Blight right away, unless you really need to. Maybe How We Get Here puts Cookies on their heels, and maybe at that point might see a Blight on game number 4. But that'd be my best bet of us seeing an S tier killer from Cookies. As, I mean, right now, they pretty much already guaranteed a spot in the playoffs for Division 2 with their 6-0 record. I don't think there's any possibility, even if they were to lose the next 3 and go to a 6-3 record, that they aren't in the finals, realistically speaking. But at the same time, you know, you don't want to go too easy on a team that you might otherwise underestimate. Indeed, good luck, everyone. New perk, new killer when? So we are looking at a new survivor, new killer on the 30th. That's a full release, and an estimated PTB on the 9th. So very excited about that thought. Especially as we already just got Michaela, you know, about, what, a month ago? Less than a month ago? So it's going to be pretty much back-to-back PTBs, which I'm excited for. I mean, I am always a fan of new content. But that being said, let's do a quick build check. Everything's looking good at first glance. And we are jumping right on in where we see a hillbilly. You know, we have actually not... Wait. Hold on 1 second. I could have sworn it was going to be a hillbilly, but it's a Bubba. Oh, it is a Bubba. Okay, fair play, fair play. For some reason, when I looked at the Beast Mark add-on in the screenshot, I thought it was Beast Engravings. I was wrong. It's a Bubba boy. So I was actually right about that. So very excited to see Bubba. I do love me some Bubba, though I am surprised at the choice of add-ons, not to see a Trilly. But instead to see the chainsaw cooldown reduction, which is a bit surprising in my opinion. With that being said, though, first good chase here with Giraffe, bringing the Bubba away from that 3-gen, though they do see that Feng Min, and he tantrums! It looked like he was either on the piece of wood or on the cloth above them. Really bad play there by Jazzy, as they are now on the Feng Min here at this tile. The question is, what will the Feng Min do when the Bubba tries to moonwalk chainsaw? And they will barely not get the down. That was a close call, but I don't think there's any way around this one here, Feng Min. And she will get downed. However, we do see that first gen pop off, and so that is 2 points on the board for How Do We Get Here, and a first hook for Bubba. I do want to note, however, we do see that 3-gen area still locked down to Corrupt Intervention. That is going to be huge for Jazzy here. Honestly, if I am How Do We Get Here looking at a Bubba right now, I'd focus in on gens that are not within that 3-gen. Though it does not appear that Jazzy is really all too worried, as Corrupt Intervention still has another like 10 seconds, give or take, before getting disabled. And so I think as soon as Corrupt Intervention's off, these survivors need to be on those corrupted gens right away. Yeah, no award-winning chili seems very odd. I am right there with you, Icy. It does seem rather peculiar. We do see that cheeky flashlight from up top, but that means that there's a survivor not on gens currently. So I think its best bet is just to sit on gens, as Bubba's going to be securing this second stage on Slashy. Not really going too far away. And Jazzy checking their 3-gen, but doesn't appear anyone's home. And now Jazzy will be going up top to the saloon to push these survivors off the gen, as Slashy will move on to second stage, getting Jazzy some additional points as he now approaches Unfortunately for Zenzophage, not enough distance available to them, and that will result in another down. Looks like Slashy, or Jazzy, not Slashy. Jazzy is going to opt to slug out here and potentially camp Slashy to death, which is a little bit surprising. I mean, there is not much that you can do in this instance against a Bubba, especially one that's trying to mind game that unhook here. The question is, where are these last two survivors? Are they on gens? Hopefully they are. But we do now see what appears to be Giraffe as he is trying to go for this, but will also get slugged out, as we do see Slashy about to move to Death Hook. And Jazzy once again trying to mind game, and does get it without a BT here. That would be a double down, and that it is. The question of the day now becomes, is there a Unbreakable currently in play? And if not, that there will be a GG well played for Jazzy. 4K at 4 gens remaining. So not bad from the Baba boy. as Megalol will be on first hook. Yeah, Bubba's pretty good at securing the 2K no matter what. No doubt about that. And that is first hook for Giraffe. And now you just have 2 more remaining. The question is, can Jazzy identify where they are before they bleed out? Of course, we do see Zifeng Min still sitting there. Maybe Jazzy just waiting for the attempted deliverance and or unbreakable. But we have not seen it as of yet. Oh, I hear a Quinton. Is there a Quinton in a cactus? Indeed there is. And that will now be another hook on Quinton Boy, but we do see a Megalol. I'm not sure if that was a Kobe. I think it was, so they just Kobe'd off the hook and potentially now getting Slashy up, but Slashy barely dodging this chainsaw with Sprint Burst, but Sprint Burst ain't enough to get away. Sorry to say, but that just ain't enough available to you. You now see Slashy going back up on that hook as Giraffe moves on to second stage, and Slashy has now become a victim to the entity. I mean, they now have 3 people off the hook, which is a significant thing. So there's at least potential for them to get more gens in the meanwhile, even though they are definitely in a very, very difficult spot. Jazzy going for an aggressive chainsaw here, but not able to make it work as we do see Giraffe now moving over to Water Wheel, trying to get this pallet, and does get it down, but unfortunately not getting this done on Jazzy as he's going to try and box Giraffe back in and get the M1 down here. Though, looks like Jazzy lost track of Giraffe as Giraffe's now on the next pallet, and Jazzy now trying to get the down chainsaw, but not able to identify where Giraffe was going all that time. And that one Kobe may have brought How to Get Here back into the game, as Jazzy is having a hard time to find Giraffe, but Giraffe running back into Jazzy and getting down. So I think at this point, this will mean that Giraffe is now dead and out of the match, as they did progress with now only 4 hooks remaining between Omegalol and Denzophage. Right now, things are looking good for the survivors. They will, however, get another generator. The question now becomes whether or not they'll be able to get any remaining generators thereafter, or even an attempted escape. I mean, at the end of the day, Jazzy has very little to worry about at this point in time. Jazzy now looking around Saloon. I am surprised to see that these survivors have yet to reset. And it looks like Jazzy opened up this door, which is a little bit surprising. I'm not exactly sure why. Just taking their time, you know, breaking all the doors they have in sight. I think Jazzy was definitely making a statement of camping you there, Slashy, from the looks of things. So far, no progression on the gens near Shack's side. As far as the 3-gen, though, we have no real clue, as we do see a survivor over there on the left-hand gen and a ruin activation. We see both Meg and the Quinton Boy as Meg will try to drop the pallet, but will not gain much distance here and will go down. The question now is, will Jazzy go for the 4K slug or just go for the pickup and try to identify where the Meg is, and will pick her up and put them on the hook. So that's Megalol now on second stage, and Denzophage quickly in chase as he did try to get the flashlight save, but to no avail. And there's no way for Megalol to get off the hook this time round. And now it is up to Denzophage to maybe last long enough to get hatched, but I just don't see that happening, as they are now in a bit of a dead zone, and could have went for the window, but didn't, and now trying to get away from Bubba, but just not able to make it happen, and will end up going down as we see both Omegalol, Denzophage die on the hook. With that being said, final score for this match. We're looking at How to Get Here with 5 points on their survivor side, and Cookies with 44 points with their progression. not bad at all. So we are starting off with a 39-point lead for Cookies. BM, negative 13 points. Don't have those rules, don't have those rules. But with that being said, we will be switching sides, where we're going to be having How Do We Get Here as the killer, and Cookies surviving instead. So going to be interesting to see what How Do We Get Here brings to the table. I mean, I wouldn't doubt if they brought a Bubba as well to basically try and do the same. I mean, Cannibal is really good on these 3-gen maps. So definitely not outside the realm of possibility. On How Do We Get Here, I do believe that we're going to see Slashy as the killer. So we'll be joining their lobby here in just a few moments, and we will see what they decide to bring. As a reminder, this is going to be another match on the Dead Dog Saloon. Come Trial 3 and Trial 4, we are going to be on the Father Campbell's Chapel. And also, correction, looks like Denzophage will be playing killer, though I don't know if they'll be playing in trial number 2 or trial number 3. We'll have to wait and see. Will be a little bit of surprise. Though thankfully, we'll have to wait long. So thoughts on Bubba on Dead Dog? I think it's just a no-brainer. If you're bringing a, B-tier killer for all intent and purpose, I think Bubba's a perfect fit. I would like to see some Billy at some point soon. We have not seen a lot of Billy. Who's the captain of How Do We Get Here? How Do We Get Here's captains, I believe, are Hammy and Geeky Giraffe. They are the 2 captains. And looks like Denzophage will, in fact, be killing. So let's join their lobby. And I don't have actually a really great idea of what they're going to be killing as, so we'll have to wait and see. However, Cookies is able to join at their leisure. I'll let them know. And when both teams are ready, please send your builds. And Vigo's Court! Welcome, welcome, Raiders! I am Mark, aka Giltspire, and this is Champions of the Fog. You are just in time to join us for round number 8. How Do We Get Here versus Cookies? Right now, Cookies in lead, 44 points to 5, as we move into trial number 2 on Dead Dog Saloon. We have How Do We Get Here on the killer side, and Cookies surviving. We are just waiting on build confirmation, and we'll get things going. So hopefully all are excited, and everyone from Vigo's, how was the games today? Hopefully they all went well. You'll find me as the primary host for Champions of the Fog, though today I'll be solo casting with me, myself, and I. So you'll be hearing a lot of me today, but otherwise we are normally joined by a co-host as well. And you actually know one of the co-hosts, the OG Vader is also here. But with that being said, currently getting builds set up as we speak. If we were to have to take a bet of what killer we're going to see, I'm thinking Bubba is a no-brainer. If How Do We Get Here really wanted to come out swinging, they could bring an S tier. Maybe a Nurse, maybe a Spirit, maybe a Blight even. Could be a very real possibility. And all those killers, not that bad on this map. If they wanted to go like a little bit lower, B and C tier, they could bring a Wraith with All Seeing, as it is pretty strong on this map and a lot of their loops, even though All Seeing was pretty significantly nerfed. Easy comeback, I mean, there is that possibility, no doubt, no doubt. You can't discount the possibility of a comeback. If you ever do underestimate a team, you might find yourself regretting it later if you do end up losing. I mean, a great example was our match with OOD, where they very narrowly lost, almost winning against their match against Atrocity. And in comparison, you looked at OOD's versus Atrocity's record, you would have thought it would have been far, beyond a close match. It was going to be a blowout, but, they came out swinging, to say the least. But we got our first build in, and it is looking good. And we also have the killer build and confirmation on the map, looking good to go. At this point in time, we are just waiting on 3 survivor builds, and there we will be. Geeky playing Perkless Nurse. If anyone plays a Perkless Nurse, hats off to ya, hats off to ya. Play on Dead Dog, kinda yeesh. Yeah, there are definitely places where Blight feels a bit meh, but definitely not a horrible decision. You know, I think it can definitely be pulled off. Not the best decision in the world, but not the worst decision either. But we'll have to wait and see, and thankfully we won't have to wait long, as we did get confirmation on the killer build. Now just waiting on one last survivor build here. And so far, survivor build's looking good to me. Just need that last one, and we'll be starting. So a reason for Umber Salts for me, honestly, I feel pretty confident with my flicks. Jazzy actually helped me out with that, which I do appreciate. But at the same time, I do like that extra bit of turning radius with the Umber Salts. I'll be honest with you. That is pretty much my only reasoning behind it, is that little bit of extra turning radius. That, and also I find that by using Blighted Crow and Blighted Rat, I'm just moving a little bit too fast my own liking and don't have the ability to kind of slow down the interaction. So, mainly that's the only reason. Otherwise, I feel like if I was a bit more confident in my flicks, I might not use Umber Salts. But for now, Umber Salts is kind of my go-to. Hopefully that explains the thought process that was behind the mind of the Giltspire. But we are going to be jumping right on into trial number 2, now that builds have been confirmed. As reminded, this is How Do We Get Here on the Killer versus Cookie Survivor side on the Dead Dog Saloon. Didn't think Odie had a nurse left? Yeah. Unfortunately, Killer Tracker was correct. I did my job there. Never Umber Salts? They do nothing? I definitely feel like they do something, though it might be maybe a placebo effect. Nonetheless, though, no need to think about that, as we're jumping right on in as we see the Wraith on the Dead Dog Saloon. So let's see how well Wraith will play. Very surprised to see them spawn up at Saloon and not start breaking doors. I know that is my normal go-to. You spawn up there, you go break doors, and loosen up those loops for later. Maybe I'll have to try out more double speed. Maybe guys will convince me. But we do see that first totem go out, and we do see the aura reading as a result of I'm all ears, of All Seen. And unfortunately, a very narrow miss there by Denzophage. And looks like they're going to be dropping that chase, as they have now found the Jane Jazzy themselves. Moving over to the Saloon. Once again, because those doors have not been open, this chase is going to be a bit rough at the start. And they will have to break that door. And looks like they may have increased braking speed from the looks of things. Denzophage trying to mind game here, but Jazzy being keen to that idea, and Denzophage losing them entirely. We do see a gen pop off in the distance, and another one being worked there, and a ruin. So that totem was not ruin. So it could have been quite literally anything from undying haunted ground, even something like a Devour Hope. Unfortunately for Denzophage here, just not able to catch up to these fires. Though does get a hit on the Cheryl. Starting off a good chase here, but she will vault on in, and Denzophage once again forced to break the wall, but not able to do so quickly due to the recloak. And Cheryl getting some pretty good distance here from that vault, and Denzophage not able to identify where they have gone, will decide to drop chase and go for the gen on top of Gallows. And we see 2 survivors here and a firecracker play. Doesn't matter if you try and look away there, my friend. Unfortunately for the Wraith, he will get light burned. Good swing on Jazzy as they do drop the pallet, and Denzophage now has an opportunity to potentially get it down, but drops chase once again, having some issues with commitment, it would look like. Though they will break the wall on Shaq to loosen up this loop and try and identify where Jazzy is. but Jazzy getting some more distance by dropping pallet. Let's see here, though, if Denzelphage can make this work in their favor. Trying to mind game that tile there, but just not able to make it work. And now we see a Nia in the target of the Wraith instead. Like I said, Wraith having a bit of trouble identifying what survivor to go for and when. And this now allows the survivors to kind of reset a little bit and start a brand new chase. And we do see Jazzy has been healed by the ace over in Saloon. And Denzo getting the hit on the ace. But will they be able to follow up with a down? Does not appear to be the case. And trying to define where Jazzy is. And is this a DC? Is that desync? Looks like Jazzy DC'd, unfortunately. That is a ongoing match. You guys do not DC, as that was past 2 minutes, so sorry to tell you, but it is what it is. I'll let both teams know so they do not get confused. I mean, this match is ongoing as it's been going on for quite a while. Very confused by that DC. Maybe Jazzy will be able to inform us what exactly went on, but these fires still in a very good spot here against the Wraith. We'll have to wait and see what Jazzy says regarding that, if that was net issues, if that was something else entirely. But Wraith able to get the hit on the ace, and now trying to identify where he's run off to, but going the opposite way as the ace has ran back into the tile, and now Wraith on their trail. We do see that 4th gen pop off, though, meaning that there's only 1 gen remaining, even with 3 survivors at this point in time. Denzelphage once again struggling to get a hit here and just trying to get it down. So far, their only down has been on Jazzy, as they were DC'd, it would look like. Jazzy was saying prior that their internet been having some issues. And apparently, according to Shader, Jazzy's net dropped. That is a oof right there. But at the very least, you know, Cookies was in a pretty good position to lose a survivor, I do suppose. And Wraith once again trying to get this down, but Cheryl playing it smart, going up the stairs, and will get the vault for the additional distance. And I imagine the last gen will be popping off here momentarily as we see Ace coming in for a body block and Wraith disengaging from the chase. We do hear Saloon getting cranked through as we speak. And looks like Nia is going to not commit to the gen and will drop down to the first floor of the saloon to avoid getting hit. And Wraith trying to defy where she went, but not able to make it happen. Wraith once again trying to defy where they are, finds the scratch marks and finds the Cheryl once again. But I think Cheryl just is well aware that Wraith has all seen and is leaving those tiles quite early to ensure that she does not take a hit. However, she will greed that loop there and take a hit nonetheless. But I do imagine that survivors will be up on the second floor working on Gen as we speak. And Denzelphage getting a hit on the Nia. I'm not sure if that was intended as a body block or what, but Nia will have adrenaline and gets that health state for free, making a little bit more sense on why they're playing the way they were. At this point in time, this will be a potential 3-man out for How Do We Get Here? And we see Denzo back on the Cheryl. If they are able to get her down and camp her out, this could be a huge play for How Do We Get Here? And it looks like Denzelphage is going to get a basement hook on top of which. Not bad, not bad. And that there will be the hook. And I'd be shocked, I tell you, if Denzo did not camp this out. But looks like they're going to instead explore and potentially go out towards the exit gates. Though now they're taking a bit more of an aggressive stance and sitting at the top of basement, as they do see that this gen has been, or exit gate has been 99, and now is at risk of being light burned. And so they are. Being light burned out of cloak. And we do see Nia has been fully healed. At this point in time, I would say Cookies has a lot of potential to get the person out of basement, as we do see Nia trying to creep along, and they're desperately trying to get that 3-man out for the max amount of points possible. Denzo just trying to box them out, however, ensure that they do not get downstairs. If they have delivered still to their availability, now would be the time to use that. We see Ace go down into the basement as Nia takes the hit, moving towards the exit gate, and there is the unhook. Ace will take the hit, and I imagine Cheryl will be falling up behind him with a BT in her pocket. Unfortunately, there is no way for the Wraith to get around that, and will opt to go for the Ace, who is now gonna light burn them, and that should give them enough time to get the 3-man out. Let's see, there is 1, there is 2, where is number 3? Denzel Phage looking around for them for that exact reason. Nia taking a hit, but we still have yet to see the Cheryl. That will be Nia out, Ace out, and there is only 1 remaining. Where is the Cheryl? That is the question. Very possible that she might be on the other exit gate, or, in fact, she could be looking for Hatch at this point in time. Let's see. So far, Denzo trying to identify where she is by using All Seen. Not seeing that she's on that exit gate, however. It might be the play here to go for Hatch, but Cheryl has opted to go for the exit gate and will escape for the 3-man out. Not bad at all. So that there will result in 38 points for Cookies, 14 points for How Do We Get Here due to the DC. So good stuff all around. And with that being said, we'll be moving on to trial number 3, as Cookie now leads the match with a total of 63 points ahead. All right. For trial number 3, I do believe we have, let's see, Slashy as the killer. Your power said no, Jazzy. That is a oof right there. Well, let us know if you'll be joining us for this next match or not. And let me know, How Do We Get Here know that they are good to go to set up the next lobby. And let's cross our fingers that your power doesn't go out again. Rough times for Jazzy, that is for sure. And for those who are confused about the points for that DC, it does result in kill or the hook plus progressions. And looks like it's possible that we have Geeky Giraffe as the killer, which I would be very interested in. For those who do not know the backstory of How Do We Get Here, they're actually part of my community, and for all intent and purpose, I actually view them as my, for lack of a better term, community team that has joined Champions of the Fog. So I was very excited to have them join and very happy to have seen them grow throughout the first 2 seasons thus far. Yes, please keep it chill in chat, guys. Keep in mind that A, if you're trying to make a joke, not everyone will take it as a joke. B, if mods cannot view it as a joke at first glance, they will time you out if it is offensive. And C, you are representing not just yourself, but your team if you are on one. So keep it civil, keep it nice, and keep it clean. As far as killers are concerned, looks like it is confirmed that Giraffe is going to be killing for How Do We Get Here, and is all set and ready to go, as we are going to be on the Father Campbell's Chapel for game number 3. You dislike Wraith? So much that you punched a fuse box. Fair enough, you know, that is commitment, that is commitment. You know, I've never heard that people dislike Wraith. Personally, I love going against Wraith. You just kind of get to bully them over pallets. Philip Ojimo? He is Philip Ojimo. I actually love the Dead by Daylight lore. For those who have never taken the time to read the Dead by Daylight lore, would highly recommend it. Adds a bit of spice and flavor to the mix as you do play the game. At this point in time, I believe we are just waiting on cookies, as I believe Jazzy will be inviting the rest of their team to the lobby. Big Phil's bell causes power outages. You know, that would be a significant buff to Wraith. You know, every person that you ring the bell in their ear results in a DC. You know, I think Wraith would be up there with the nurse at that point. Mod check, we have me, myself, and I. We have Shelby and more. So no worries, we have mods here in chat. Hence the reason for us mentioning keep it clean, keep it nice. No reason to go out of your way. But we do have Cookie's team in the lobby, and now we are waiting on their builds. As a reminder, though, we are currently looking at a 63-point lead for Cookies, meaning that how do we get here? We'll need to get a significant 4K to guarantee a potential comeback in game number 4. Fair enough, Requiem, fair enough. Say hi to Cook for me. And, you know, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Easy win for how do we get here? I mean, they're not out of the game yet. There still is some possibility. But we officially have 3 builds from Cookies. So far, so good. They are looking good to go. And just went on the 4th so that we can get started and ready. So what do you guys think so far? You guys enjoying this matchup? Like I said earlier, How Do We Get Here is a newer team to comp. So be understanding the fact that they're still learning, they're still growing. They will be joining us for Season 2 in January. For those who don't know, we'll be taking December off, as this season will probably be ending towards the end of November, around the 20th, 21st, give or take. And then we'll be jumping right on into Season 2 in January, where we have a $525 prize pool. So it'll be much more significant than what we have seen from Season 0, Season 1. It's been like around 200, 300, which still hasn't been bad, all things considered. But we do officially have the 4th build from the survivors. And at first glance, everything's looking good to go. I will let them know and move over to the spectators so we can get trial number 3 started. So if I'm guessing for How Do We Get Here, normally I'd say for Geeky Giraffe, I'd say we'd see a pig, as they do enjoy playing some pig, or trickster even. But being at the point deficit that they are, maybe Giraffe might move out of their comfort zone with a S tier killer. You know, there is definitely that possibility. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm very, very curious here to see what Giraffe brings to the table, as I know they are much more a survivor focused, though they have been dabbling in some trickster mainage as of recent. So maybe they'll go their way of the Rugard. Maybe they'll bring out the trickster instead. We'll have to simply wait and see at this moment in time. All right. So just about loaded on in. We'll do a quick secondary build check, make sure everyone has dotted their I's, crossed their T's, and we will not have to wait long to figure out what killer Geeky Giraffe has brought for us to watch. It'll be interesting to see what the survivors will be doing on Father Campbell's, as there are usually some pretty good 3-gens that spawn, but build looks good, and we see a Corrupted Invention, and it is a nurse. So overall, I mean, I think this is the right play. You want to bring an S tier to the table, as this makes sense to me, you want to try and get as much pressure as humanly possible. The question is, how good is Geeky Giraffe's nurse? That is the real question here, and I am curious, as I don't think I've ever seen Geeky Giraffe play nurse prior. How do we verify builds? The team sends screenshots to us, where we then are able to check. It's all in the Discord. So it is a bit of a lengthy process, especially as I'm currently working as a commentator and ref and build checker. But we do see Giraffe here on Jazzy trying to identify where they went. I think the biggest thing that Giraffe's going to struggle with is keeping line of sight on these survivors and understanding the blink distance necessary to get the hit on these survivors. And looking like Cheryl trying to fake out the play on the hill. Giraffe narrowly missing that hit though on Cheryl, and she will gain some distance because of that. We'll have to wait and see to see if Giraffe is able to make up that distance and get a hit, but that might be a bit of an overblink. Though we do see what looked to be Jazzy from an aura read on Undying. So we know at the very least Undying is in play. What the other perks are, we do not know. Once again, Giraffe trying to identify where these survivors are, but over blinking their position. These survivors playing a lot of the double back strat for the nurse, and we do see Cheryl potentially and purposely going around that dull totem to take the attention of the nurse away from the other generators. And unfortunately, Giraffe losing sight of them, though they do end up finding the ace. Where Ace went, though, have no clues. We did hear a blink bug start. Always a painful sound when you hear that rapid ticking as you're playing the nurse, as you really can't do much to avoid it. Giraffe doing a good job in identifying where survivors are, just not able to really capitalize on that information, unfortunately. Definitely would say some additional practice on the nurse and how to utilize their blink to the fullest will be necessary. But as I say all the time, nurse is a hard killer to learn. They have a very steep learning curve and are very punishing to learn at high MMR, which if you play enough killer, you just are at that level one way or another. This gen, though, being regressed by Ruins, we do see, and we do see our first hit of the match here on the Jake, and looking like Jazzy trying to harass Giraffe with the flashlight for a light burn. Not something that you see every day against a nurse, but seemingly working a bit here as Giraffe does miss another hit on Jazzy. That there will be the second gen to be completed, only 3 left, and Jazzy, wouldn't really call that a flashlight at this point, more or less a seizure stick. Trying to take attention away from the remaining generators. And looks like Giraffe will decide to ignore them and try and go for a hit on the ace, but not able to connect. Looking like Ace will now bring him over to this side of the carnival, and Giraffe just unable to get the precise precision that they need for these blink hits, as Ace will go for the pallet throw and does use it as a blocker. Unfortunate for Giraffe, and I can definitely see the pressure getting them a little bit, as they are going to disengage from the ace and opt to go for another gen. We do see a vault down from the top of main to try and avoid a blink onto gen. And Giraffe trying to identify where these survivors have went, but to no avail as we see gen number 3 pop off. I definitely have high respects for anyone who might not main nurse or have enough experience on nurse to bring a nurse into a comp match. It is not an easy task by any stretch of the imagination. Giraffe, though, does identify that someone is in main and is going to go for a chase, but unfortunately the survivor is just respecting the nurse's terror radius and making so that they are going to just be out of reach. But Ace taking a bit of a poco zit right there, and now has potential of getting down as Jazzy then attempts to flashlight the nurse in order to avoid another blink on the Ace. Unfortunately, not going to happen, but we do see the nurse get the down on the ace, and that'll be our first down of the match. The question is Jazzy nearby to try and get the flashlight save? They are, but are not able to make it work. That there will be the first look on the ace and for the nurse. We do know that Jazzy is nearby. We'll see if Giraffe decides to camp this out or try and go elsewhere, as we do hear another totem pop off. And I do believe that is the last totem for this nurse. That will be the 4th gen, and now the nurse really does have to make a choice here. Do they camp this out to 2nd stage and try and secure the kill, or will they go for a generator? It is a tough call, as they've been struggling on these chases, and looks like they will try and at least go for a trade, but Jazzy coming on in, going for that unhook, and will take the hit with now 3 survivors injured. Ace trying to bait out the BT hit. I do think is that or the dead hard. And without getting that extra distance on the blink, not able to get the hit. At this point in time, though, BT will have expired, and Ace, with the dead hard, is able to get on by and extend that chase even further. If there does get Ace down, the next question then does become, does he have a decisive strike in hand to try and extend this chase even further, as we do see the 5th gen pop off and adrenaline pop on the Jake. I do foresee this ace making their way over to this exit gate, where I imagine the remaining survivors will be there sitting and waiting on the exit gate, trying to get that 99 and open for the ace to run on through. We could potentially also see a attempted body block, which is a little bit difficult against the nurse, to be fair, but the hitbox body blocking is a possibility to try and get the ace out, as he is now finding himself in shack, but unfortunately nurse not able to get the hit. He will be able to get that vault and will be making his way over towards that exit gate as we speak. The amount of distance that they have, I do not think there's any way for this nurse to come on back, and that there will be a 4-man out against the nurse. That's a 2, there's 3, and 4. That there resulting in 50 points for Cookie's Survivor team and 4 points for the nurse. As we move into trial number 4, how do we get here at 23 points total and Cookies at 137? Definitely a rough match for Geeky Draft, but like I said, I do commend them on bringing a nurse when they are not a nurse main or well versed with the nurse. So getting some practice in at the very least, though difficult to really practice against a comp team when trying to play the nurse, after all, I do suppose. Alright, with that being said, Cookies will be last up on the killer side on Father Campbell's Chapel. We'll find out in just a second who the killer will be. See if they switch it up from what they initially thought. But it looks like it will be Thomas. We'll just be waiting for an invite to the lobby, and we'll get this final trial started up. In the meanwhile, while we're waiting, let's talk about what's coming up next week. Next week, we are looking at another 10 a.m. match with Cerebral Assassins versus Undying Alliance, now known as Atrocity. Immortal Alliance versus Object of Depression at 12 p.m. CST. Cookies versus Regicide at 2 p.m. How to Get Here versus Sample Text at 4. And that will be the last match of that Saturday, November 6th. Hard to believe we're already in November. November is come a lot quicker than I imagined. But this appeared due to some technical difficulties. We are going to be waiting a quick moment as someone needs to restart their game. So, one moment, and then we'll get things started on up. One thing I will say about Season 1 that I do like is that the 4th game, when it is a blowout like this, we do have the option for a bit of meaning, or to see some killers that we wouldn't normally see in trial number 4. So if we were to see a killer that we don't normally see, what would you guys like to see? Personally, would love to see some, you know, Trapper, would love to see some Myers, maybe some Legion, as we do not see a lot of that. But Jazzy has officially invited me to the lobby, and we should be good to go once How to Get Here has joined. Now, I will note that Thomas's name is I'm playing Chase Hag. Maybe that actually is the case. We'll have to wait and see, you know, an M1 only Hag. But with that being said, I'm thinking if it's not a Hag, which would be funny given the name, I would love to see maybe a Michael Myers, which I think we may have seen all of one time in Season 1 of Champions of the Fog. Otherwise, who else would I like to see? Who else have we seen in a while? Maybe a Ghostface? Ghostface also a really good option, I'd say. Somebody we haven't seen as well. So, we'll have to wait and see, though. We'll have to wait and see. Based on the name, though, I'm going to assume a Chase Hag. Though currently, I don't believe their iridescents are allowed, so I doubt we're going to see a true Chase Hag, but maybe a 110 Chase Hag, which would be something. That'd be rather surprising. And let's take a look, and we do have confirmation on the build, and maybe you guys will be surprised, maybe not. It is indeed the Chase, indeed the case. Are we going to see an actual Chase Hag? Okay, okay. Yeah, Frosty Eyes, so GG. Well, normally I'd say if you have Frosty Eyes, it's going to end up being a Noed Hag. But this season, Noed is not allowed. So I don't think Survivor's going to have to worry about Noed. Exactly. No Noed, no Noed. Okay, I'm curious, especially based on the build that I saw. I'll be very intrigued to see how well Chase Hag goes. All right. Queen Hagatha, I have a deal, guess who I am, and I'll follow. DJ. DJ Polar Bear? Maybe. I mean, that would make sense to me. Otherwise, you're a DJ. And honestly, you should follow anyways, whether or not I guess right. As Chance Fog gonna be going on to our playoffs here momentarily in the next couple of weeks, and then we have Season 2 starting up in January, which will be pretty exciting. We have some pretty big names gonna be joining us for Season 2, actually. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at all of the teams joining, just so you guys are aware of the 16 teams. Frosty Eyes equals free Pocos. Oh, yes, yes, yes. That is exactly what it means. But for Season 2, we're looking at Fortnite Twin Locker, Atrocity Cookies, Deadheads, Divine, Elysium, How Do We Get Here, Immortals, Modern Retro, Monarchy, Object of Oppression, Sample Text, Shadow Wolves, The Hookers, Travesty, and We Overslept. So, very, very excited to have everyone join us for Season 2. You guys pretty much signed up within hours of it being released, so I do appreciate all the hype you guys had for Season 2. Hags, Frosty Eyes makes your Poco stronger. Fair play, fair play. You know, that's a bit new. I thought that just Frosty Eyes Hags came with a default Noed. That was my assumption. That was just been my personal assumption based on every time I saw Frosty Eyes. It's just, oh, you have this cosmetic, default Noed. You don't even need to unlock it. You could be level 0 on whatever that killer is. You apply Frosty Eyes, you have Noed. That's what I thought it always meant. But we have officially gotten all of the builds for the survivors. So far, everything is looking good to go, and with that confirmation, we are ready to get started. That looks like a quick build change. Cool, cool, cool. Everything is still good to go, and we'll be jumping into trial number 4 of Cookies versus How Do We Get Here. That is, once they ready up. Once they ready up, they might be rethinking their strategies. Maybe Chase Hag is changing up some add-ons. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. All right, so with that being said, we'll be starting up trial number 4 of How Do We Get Here versus Cookies. As a reminder, the current points at this moment in time are 23 How Do We Get Here versus 132 Cookies. This is pretty much a game for fun, hence I'm expecting some memes and maybe some dreams for both the killer and survivor. And, you know, just memeing about, having some fun, having a good old time, as this match has already been decided with Cookies as the winner of their match, and that means they are going to be 7-0 for the season so far. I'm pretty sure at this point in time that will lock in their place for playoffs. And so we'll probably just say at this point, Cookies will be joining us for the playoffs. As far as the remainder of teams for playoffs is actually yet to be decided. Atrocity definitely up there with a 5-2 record. Cookies with a 7-0, pretty much just going to be guaranteed. Regicide up there, I believe, with a 6-1 record after today. And then we have Monarchy, I believe, 4-3. Streetball Assassins at 4-3, and Sample Text at 4-3. So we still have a lot of contenders for the playoffs. We'll have to wait and see what it looks like from these next 2 rounds. Who will be going? It is definitely going to be a fight for those final 3 spots, to say the least, though. No doubt in my mind. All right, so I guess I can just say at this point, it is a Chase Hag. We have gotten full confirmation, both here in chat as well as via the builds. Gonna be interesting to see what they can accomplish. Excuse me. As far as builds concerned, it looks like they are not bringing any add-ons, surprisingly. You know, even if it is Chase Hag, you'd think maybe an add-on or 2 would be used here, but Chase Hag going purist and opting to say, I'm not even going to have any add-ons because I ain't going to use my M2. I'm not going to place down a single trap, and if I see a single trap, I'm going to give all the points to How Do We Get Here. I think that's only fair. If you say that your name is Chase Hag, you're bringing a Chase Hag build, if you put down 1 trap, you lose all the points. We do see, however, a pallet stun, but a very quick recovery, suggesting enduring from the Chase Hag. As she is now on the prowl for the injured Meg. Though we do see that first gen pop off in the distance. No surprise to the Hag, however, as with no corrupt intervention and no gen slowed down, I don't think there's much of a way for Hag to really pressure these gens, as we do see the second pallet go off, and Meg trying to make some distance away from this Hag, though does end up going through Shaq and will end up throwing the pallet, but Spear Fury Enduring coming in and getting down on the Megan. Good stuff there. So that will be the first hook of the game to match up the first gen of the game. And now they are going to have to see what these survivors are going to do. We do hear a gen off in the distance. Sounds like main building being worked on as we speak, and Hag has taken note of that as well, and will be going to push them off. We will see a hit here on Shelby, as it looks like Slashy will be dropping out the window for some additional distance. We do hear a bit of a ping and some haste bonus on the Hag, suggesting some play with your food. So it's a tried and true Hag build here, and Slashy going for maybe a head-on? but maybe not waiting long enough to get it to work. And we will see a grab out of the locker instead, as Slashy will then be put back up on the hook. We still hear survivors up on the main gen. We also see a noise notification off in the distance at Carnival, suggesting that they are trying to complete that generator in the meanwhile, unless that was a heal skill check miss, which is a possibility as well. I just kind of taking their time, kind of meandering around this hook. As we did see, I believe, Michaela here, and he will drop the pallet on the hag, but as we saw earlier, that Enduring Spirit Fury is going to be an issue for these survivors. We do see a flashbang, and Michaela, unfortunately, not able to capitalize on it, as she does go down in the corner. However, we do see another generator pop off in the meanwhile. So 2 hooks to 2 gens, and Hag trying to box out Giraffe here, and Giraffe trying to bait out the hit for the trade, and looks like they will end up getting it, but we'll get that 1-for-1 trade. And now the question is, does Giraffe have a BT? Looks like Hag not going to take the chance, will just go for the straight up hook. And Slashy did not go to second stage because of that. Though it does not look like the Hag is going to give up this chase anytime soon and will be going for the down here. And unfortunately, without any pallet, there was no way of escape. Let's see if they have Decisive Strike. But unfortunately, does not appear to be the case and will go up on hook for their second stage. Meaning that Slashy is the first survivor to get on to Death Hook for this Hag to capitalize on. All right, and we see now 2 survivors. We see the Meg, but we also see Giraffe back here. Giraffe trying to sneakily avoid the Hag, but to no avail. And now we'll have 2 survivors on Death Hook once they get off. So very good start for the Hag here. Still possible to get this main gen done. They've been pushing this for a while, but just not able to get the last bit of progress that they need. To be fair, Hag has not really been pressuring all too much either. No real gen regression to speak of, and they are not taking the time to dry kick it either, which I think is the smart play. And I will mention, looks like a bamboozle. As you see, that window has been blocked. Looks like they're gonna opt to go for the BT hit. They will take that hit, though, once again, with Enduring Spirit Fury. They do not exactly lose all too much distance, as they are going to attempt to go for the kill. And unfortunately, with Giraffe going down, I do believe that will be the first kill of the game, as they also anticipate the Michaela being not too far away to try and go for the flashlight save, but no dice. There's the flashbang and the blind, though will not matter much here, as we have 2 survivors down on the ground, and Hag trying to defy where. Giraffe will, however, get back up off the ground with a potential unbreakable play. So honestly, in the grand scheme of things, that was actually a pretty significant exchange for these survivors. You know, saving a survivor from being removed from the game, instead putting someone onto their first hook. I'd say a pretty good situation for them to be in. This gen, though, literally 99.9, if a survivor were to breathe on that gen, it would pop off, but Hag decided to bop it real quick for a 0.3% per regression per second. Not really recommended, but as far as I haven't been there in a hot minute, I can see why. Looks like they'll break the pallet for some Spirit Fury and end up finding the Meg, who is only on first hook, so not the best chase for the Hag here. However, they do see Giraffe, who has who has been hooked twice already. So if they do end up with this trade, it will result in a death for Giraffe, which would be pretty significant to say the least. And once again, trying to bait out the hit for the trade. But Hag just taking her time, wanting to get that progression here on Shelby. Giraffe's going to need another survivor to come on in, and they do get the cancel, but Giraffe will trade with their life. So, good play there. Unfortunately for a draft, that will cost them their life. And I think that if anyone else, whether it had been Omega Lol or Slashy, I guess Slashy would have had the same situation, came on in. That would have been a better play, but unfortunately, no way out of that situation. And now is down to this last gen. Though I see that a bit of a bet has been done here, trying to see if they're able to get the 4K with Chase Hag. I mean, if one gen remaining, it's going to be a bit of a difficult task, though. If everyone injured, it's going to be interesting to see. We do see Slashy vault the window. Hag will vault too, as she has that increased speed thanks to Bamboozle. Well, looks like she'll opt to go for the gen instead, as I'm surprised to see that Omegalo has not been healed while on that generator. And now looks like we're going to have a chase at the Z-Wall, and as we all know, Z-Wall is the strongest loop in the game, as Meg does end up going down, and that will be their second hook of the game thus far. So they're still primed in a pretty good position to potentially get at least a one-man out. It's not outside their realm possibility, though if only 4 hooks remain, it's definitely going to be a tall order for these survivors. They're going to have to play smart and not overcommit to one gen. The best thing they can do here is split gen pressure, but Hag going for that quick chase on Shelby in order to get there. Play with your food stacks to get a bit more speed as Slashy clicks go into the hook. And if Slashy goes for the unhook, I'm going to be a bit surprised, as I do believe they are on death hook, and Slashy will be removed from the game. Well, that now leaves Omega Lol with only 1 hook remaining and Shelby with 2. I think at this point, this game might result in a hatch match, as I do not see these survivors finding a way to do this last generator, as Shelby trying to heal Omega Lol, not able to make it happen, and it looks like Hag will slug for the 4K, knowing that Unbreakable has been played. And with play for food, Hag is going to be getting faster and faster, though she will lose her stack there, but will still get the hit, as they were able to force Survivor out of the pallet. And now, with, I believe, Spirit Fury fully up and ready, these survivors are going to have to find a way to get Hatch one way or another. Hag once again taking a cheeky swing, but not able to make it connect. And now bamboozling the T-wall to try and shorten up that loop, and Shelby now on, in my opinion, one of the weakest vaults in the game, but gaining some distance from a mind game, and now Hag dropping down to try and get to Shelby. Shelby keeping Hag pretty busy. Unfortunately, Omega was not primed and ready to get picked up, and I believe that will result in the 4K after all. That'll be Death Hook for Omega Lol, and then a hook plus progression for Shelby. So looks like Chase Hag will, in fact, get the 4K. Not bad at all. So that there will result in 14 points for How Do We Get Here Survivor Team and 47 points for the Hag. However, I did say here that if the Hag were to put down a single trap, that all points go to How Do We Get Here. So, I mean, I'm a man of my word. So I guess all 47 points will go to How To Get Here instead. What do you guys think? Is that a fair say? Oh, fair enough. But that being said, GG, well played to both teams. And congratulations, Cookies, for another victory, putting them onto a 7-0 record. On that note, guys, that there will end up being the end of today's stream. I, of course, am your primary host and Commissioner Giltspire. And let's actually take a look and see who is live for us to raid. Let's take a look and see real quick. Looks like we have 2 competitors from COTF currently live. Trying to think. Do you guys have any suggestions? I know that Vigo Score had a recommendation for Lead the Raid, which might not be a half bad idea. Might have to think about doing that in the future, though I do see someone that I normally do raid once in a while. Maybe we'll raid them, or we might end up raiding someone else. Do you guys have any recommendations? Let's see. I think we'll just end up raiding. Let's see. We have Josend, who is on 4 Dwight's 1 locker. Now, I do want to mention, I do not personally know Josend. I personally have not watched their stream before. So do be thoughtful in that case. If they are a good person to raid, keep that in mind and let me know. If they are not, also let me know. Always want to be mindful of that fact. With that being said, guys, as always, if you did enjoy the show, please make sure to hit that follow button, as we'll be live again at 10 a.m. CST 1 week from now. But also, make sure to stop by my stream, as I'm a Dead by Daylight content creator here to teach codes how to play Killer and survivors how to play against Killer. So make sure to stop on by, say hi, as we'll be live tomorrow for some inscription at 7 p.m. CST, but also Monday at 7 p.m. CST for some Survive with Friends. On that note, guys, I